Hey yo, what's up, man? This is Rap Avalos coming back here with another video, and I wanted to talk about existential crisis and how you could actually get over it and not overthink it. Because I saw a video about people dealing with existential crisis. So for like the past, if you don't know me by now, or you probably don't know me by now, for the past like 3 or 4 days, like I've been dealing with like mental illness or whatever. So one thing for sure is I start getting like depression, right? And I start getting like derealization, sort of. So one thing that I started getting was this existential crisis. Like I started like questioning, why do I exist? What's the purpose of living? So one thing I put in my mind all the time is that, the only reason why you feel that way is because you're not distracted enough. Plain and simple. Like, most people that have this existential crisis, or existential crisis, if I'm pronouncing it right, usually experience it because of the fact that they're not distracted enough. Like their brains are pretty much fixated on what's gonna happen after death. Now, there's people that like don't think about this shit because for the simple fact that they have a higher belief system. So like you're taught like, oh, I believe in God. You know what I'm saying? So you have like this, you have like you have a belief system that when you die, you're gonna go to like a extraterrestrial realm or something, like where God is gonna judge you and all that shit. So that's actually a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Because you have like a bigger belief system. So most people that are into religion, they don't really think about this type of shit. Now, for like people that are atheists, that don't believe in God, that don't have no belief system, it's a little harder for them because some of them just be like, I'm gonna die and just fucking go wherever. I'm just gonna fucking die, and that's a way people cope with that shit. But then there's other people that fucking they can't like stop fixating about it because of the fact that they don't have no belief system. So when I started dealing with this problem, like not a couple months ago, like a month ago, I started fucking having this shit. I started to like basically almost have like panic attacks because it was like really bad. Like it was terrible, man. Like I was here believing that like what's the point in living? Like I was like fucking going into depression. I was getting all types of fucking symptoms. Like I was getting anxiety. Like I was getting scared. I'm like, oh, we're all gonna die. But one thing, people always say is to just like live the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like live the present moment. So don't fucking be like thinking about the past and the future. Because then you're just gonna scare yourself. You're gonna be in fear of thoughts. Like your thoughts are gonna scare you. That's how bad your life is gonna be. But you always have to distract yourself. Or just say, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna survive. Like I'm just gonna live. And just have a life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you go through an existential crisis, that shit is bad. Like, I ain't gonna hold you, man. That shit sucks. And some of you guys probably are dealing with a bunch of other mental health issues. You might be bipolar, you might be schizophrenic, you might have derealization, depression, and that shit just fucks you up. That shit destroys your brain. Like, and it basically it's like the joy killer. It's like it's really a joy killer. Most people that ask that question, also I wanted to hit this topic. I know I just like jumped from another topic to the other, but there's it's like I see that like people that have like better living circumstances don't really give a fuck about existential crisis. Like I was watching a video with Elon Musk and he was explaining it on a short, like, and he was just like he it's like he didn't give a fuck about it. Like he just was smiling about it. Like he's like, I'm gonna die one day. But you gotta understand that them motherfuckers are billionaire, man. Like when you're a billionaire, existential crisis, derealization, any of that shit, it won't affect you. Because you got all the money in the fucking world, man. Like, you got all the money in the world, and it doesn't really matter because you're rich. You could just basically, okay, like, you could forget about it. You could just be like, okay, I'm gonna go, rent the most expensive car and just drive it around all day or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll go to the best fucking beach in the world or some shit. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, with existential crisis, when I see people complaining about it or talking about it, they're usually not in the best circumstances. They're usually like financially unstable, or they're going to school, or they're just working or some shit. Like, they're not really living that much. Like, I never had existential crisis, to keep it honest with you. Maybe I did, but I just didn't really know what the fuck it was called at the moment. But I remember, like, when I was a kid, I had it, but it wasn't like a crisis. It was just like, oh, why do I exist? But I just kind of said, fuck it, you know what I mean? I just exist and just go outside and play like a fucking kid does, or play video games or something. But like now, it's like it feels more worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I got older, like, it's more worse because, when you're not really in the best financial situations and stuff like that, it kind of hits you. And I think existential crisis is more like a mental illness, like, to keep it honest with you. It's like, it's up there with derealization and depersonalization and all that shit. And it sucks when you start thinking negatively about it, like negatively about it, because it's like real bad. It gets worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's terrible. So my take on existential crisis, like, to keep it honest with you, to get over it, or at least to like cope with it, is to, like, one thing for sure, always keep your health. Always keep your health money, man. Like, always keep your health wealth. Because you're going to start getting anxiety, especially if it starts bothering you. You know what I'm saying? If you can't cope with it well, then you're going to fucking get anxiety. I'm just going to tell you this plain and simple, or you're going to get depressed. So one thing for sure, like, keep your health, like, money, man. Like, keep your health right. Like, don't ever, like give up on your health, man, because your health is wealth, man. So always try to keep your health, like, stable. And then another thing I would say is to not, like, really think about it that much, and have joy in life. Like, enjoy life. Like try to distract yourself, have, like, high expectations for yourself, because if not, then that's gonna be your joy kill. It's just gonna destroy your fucking joy in life. That shit sucks. When you start thinking about existential crisis all day, it ruins your like, basically joy in life, like your happiness. Like, you don't feel happy. So some people even feel useless. They're like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point in me existing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And another thing I'll tell people too is stay off social media as much as you can, man. Try to go outside, you know what I mean? Try to spend time with your family. Even if you don't have family, go out there and try to find people, man. Like, it's a hard knock life out here, man, and people just don't give a shit. But, like, you really gotta, like, stay focused on yourself sometimes. I'm not saying be selfish, but, like, try to, like, keep your mind off of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So then you could, like, actually enjoy, your time existing and being here, you know what I'm saying? So that's my take in existential crisis. You know what I mean? There's a couple videos that I saw that are pretty good. There's one dude that he had, like, a quote, like, and, like, they're always gonna tell you, like live the moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of true. Like, you gotta live the moment. You can't just be, like, not living the moment. But yeah, man. I guess I'm just, like, talking about it. I'm not here like it's really, like, for me, how I kind of, like, cope with it is not thinking about it. But, for certain other people, it might be different. But you don't want to just come up with a bunch of excuses all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, because you're just self-doubting yourself. Or look into therapy, man. But yeah, man, existential crisis, that's my take, that's my thoughts. Yeah, man, Rep Avalos. Peace.